The power of prayer. This is not the first time doctors report on this. There are some hospitals that have, there are some major hospitals that have a team of Christian prayer groups. And they give the names of their patients for the prayer groups to pray for these patients. The power of prayer. Doctor stunned as brain tumor vanishes without surgery. Baxter Dimitri News Punch reports. Doctors in California are mystified after finding a patient suspected malignant brain tumor disappeared without surgical intervention after the patient, who describes himself as a man of faith, asked for help from his community and receives an outpouring of prayers from thousands of Christians across the United States. Quote, "It's a miracle, and that is the way God planned it," end quote, said the patient, Paul Wood, who has now been asked to take part in a research study by doctors who cannot explain how he was healed. Of course, with nothing except prayer, obviously. CBS Sacramento reported Friday that the neurosurgeons and specialists in charge of treating Paul Wood, a patient from Lodi, California, are scratching their heads after brain scans revealing his tumor disappeared the day before he was scheduled for surgery. And this is what we also have noticed. We put our prayer groups to pray for a certain person, and a day or two before surgery, which is a major surgery, especially, this is, we have to glorify God. This is His doing. He hears the prayers of the small Christians, and he gives us the evidence of His hearing us through the miracle of healing. And it's not just the person who is turned to faith who has been healed, but his whole family and everyone who hears about this miracle. So, yes, Christ does perform miracles even in this modern day and age. So, in Lodi, California, the surgeons are still scratching their heads after brain scans reveal that the tumor of Paul Wood disappeared the day before he was scheduled for surgery. Wood, who is a father and volunteer in his community, noticed something was amiss several months ago when he could barely stand up straight. Quote, "I had massive headaches. I couldn't walk down the hallway without holding onto the walls," he said. Breitbart reports the Lodi man went to his primary care doctor, who referred him to a neurosurgeon at UC San Francisco. The neurosurgeon said his brain was bleeding, but radiologists said there was evidence of a tumor. Wood, who considers himself a man of faith, turned to his community for support, but what he did not expect was the overwhelming amount of prayer and support for him on social media. Wood said, "My phone is blowing up. My Facebook is prayer after prayer all over California." When doctors took another brain scan the day before his operation, they canceled the surgery because the tumor had disappeared. Wood said it was nothing short of a miracle from God. He said, "It's a miracle, and that is the way God planned it." Wood's doctor struggled to explain why the tumor disappeared, admitting that there are some things, quote, "that we cannot explain," end quote. Dr. Richard Yee said, "We do tests and we have medical technology and we try to come up with some conclusion. Sometimes things happen that we can't explain." But faith leaders at Wood's place of worship, Gravity Church, say a higher power was at work when Wood received the outpouring of prayers from his community. He just kept saying, "No matter what happens to me, I'm going to be okay. I trust God." And that was an inspiration for a lot of people around him, end quote, said Jason McEachron, a pastor at Gravity Church. Although the doctors are unsure of what contributed to Wood's recovery, they were so fascinated by it that they asked him to take part in a research study. Kindly support my Patreon account, since that's the only way I can continue what you like seeing on this channel. Thank you. You'll find it in the description box below.